In this video, we're going to discuss Microsoft Windows containers. Containers in Windows Server 2016 is all about protecting data through applications. Server 2016 supports two different types of containers: Windows Server containers and Hyper-V containers. The difference between the two is in the degree of container isolation they provide. Windows Server containers share everything with the host computer, including the operating system kernel and the system memory. Because of this, it's possible that an application might be able to escape from the confines of its container and affect other processes running on the host or in other containers. This option is therefore presumed to be preferable when the applications running in different containers are basically ones that we trust. The other option would be Hyper-V containers, and this provides an additional level of isolation by using the hypervisor to create a separate copy of the operating system kernel for each container. The containers also have their own memory assigned to them and isolated storage and network. This provides a container environment that is suitable for what Microsoft calls hostile multi-tenant applications, such as when a business provides containers to clients for running their own code. That may not be as trustworthy. With the addition of Hyper-V containers, Windows Server 2016 provides three levels of isolation. They range from separate operating system installation of Hyper-V virtual machines to the separate kernel and memory of Hyper-V containers and the shared kernel and other resources of Windows Server containers. So how do we install the containers program? Well, this is a Windows feature that we can install using PowerShell. And we do that by typing the command you see here, install-Windows feature, name containers, and of course you do have to restart, so make sure you're in a place where your virtual machines are shut down and ready to be restarted. There's a lot of confusion about the new program called Docker. Now, Docker is not new in general, it's just new to Windows. It's been around in Linux for many years. However, once we install the containers program, we can now install the Docker programs. And there's a couple of different executables here. There's the Docker-D and the Docker.exe. And these programs work together in order to separate out your applications that need Docker in order to have the separation and isolation from the rest of the operating system and kernel. So how this works is, anyone who's developing an application will develop with Docker in mind, and they will implement Docker with the application when you go to install it. However, you have to have containers installed and Docker installed. So we do that by invoking a web request. There is no way to just download the executable. You have to do the invoke-web request, and there is the full command in order to get it. You also need to run it a second time with docker.exe at the end instead of docker-d.exe. So all these things work together, containers, Docker-D, and Docker, all in one place, so you can use legacy applications on multiple different operating systems, such as Windows 10 or Windows Server 2016. And these legacy applications can now be set up so you won't have any problems with multiple versions of .NET or IIS or other issues that would normally cause a problem when these applications would share these files with other programs also trying to share the same files. So Docker allows us to separate all that out so they're using their own individual files. Containers in Docker and Windows Server 2016 allows you to host isolated applications and virtual machines to further secure your network.